Well, hello there, listeners. It's Susie New here, and thank you for listening to another episode of the Australian Anaesthesia Podcast. In this podcast, I'm talking with the very hardworking Girish Palnitkar. He is, and this is why I say he's so hardworking, he is a cardiac anaesthetist from Canberra, and he holds two very significant roles with the ASA. He's the chair of the ASA's committee in the ACT, and he's also the convener for this year's, that's 2025, National Scientific Congress, which is, of course, going to be held in Canberra. I had the great fortune of growing up in Canberra, and I love going back and visiting it. I'm really looking forward to going back to this NSC, and I couldn't help but pick Girish's brains on what he likes doing in Canberra, as well as finding out more about the NSC and some of the highlights that we can expect. I'm loving that this is a short and sweet episode, so let's get into it. Thank you for giving up some time this morning.
Thank you, Susie.
You are in the midst of preparing for the NSC, which I imagine is a very, very busy time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're an anaesthetist in Canberra. How long have you been in Canberra for?
So I've been in Canberra from about January of 2007 onwards. I was a mid-level trainee. I did half of my training in Tasmania, and I finished my training here in Canberra. I went overseas like so many of us do for my fellowship. I went to Papworth and Cambridge, and then I came back and been working here since 2010.
Yep. And you're predominantly a cardiac anaesthetist, is that right?
Yeah, jack of all trades, I think. That's how I put it. So I do a bit of this, bit of that. And I think in a smaller place like Canberra, that's what you need to be able to do, just do a little bit of everything.
That's so true, except most of us don't do a little bit of cardiac as well. So that's more general than general. What attracted you to Canberra?
Well, it's a great place to raise kids. Like, I've got a family with 3 children, and it is a superb place to raise kids. It's safe. The quality of education is excellent. It's not too far to travel. I know my friends in Sydney and Melbourne are constantly bemoaning the fact that they have to go from X to Y and it's going to take them a couple of hours in the car, whereas for me, the furthest I travel is maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And that's from one end to the other of Canberra, and that doesn't happen often. So we are very lucky here.
You're making me a bit homesick. I grew up in Canberra, so I can relate to all of those things. It was a lovely place to grow up, I agree. And so you've been madly preparing for the NSC. Tell me, how long has that been going on for now? Because it does take a little while to get an NSC up and going.
Yeah, look, we've had this idea for a long, long time, and I've constantly been knocking on the door just saying, let's have a conference in Canberra. I think the thing that inspired me was back in 2013, the NSC was held in Canberra, and I was a junior consultant at that stage, and I was involved on the committee. And it was a wonderful experience. And I've always said, let's get the NSC back here. And I think I started rattling the cage maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow, it's a long lead time.
Yeah. And eventually I think the ASA just got sick of me and they said, just give this guy the NSC and let's see what happens. So it's been in the making for a long time. Certainly the planning in earnest has been there for about 18 months now, locking in the speakers, getting a theme, building up the conference. And there's been a lot of hard work by the entire committee, particularly people like Adam Eslick, who's the scientific convener, to create an outstanding program over a fairly short space of time, but that is broad enough to interest everyone because we've all got a diverse range of interests.
That's so true.
Hopefully people will see that too.
Just remind me, what's the theme for this year's NSC?
Come together.
Oh, nice.
That's what Canberra means, I guess, in the language of the Ngunnawal people who we are on. It means meeting place, and we hope that everyone will come together and meet here in Canberra.
Sounds gorgeous. What are some of the highlights in the program?
We've got many highlights in the program. We've got some outstanding overseas speakers. I think the 3 keynote speakers most of us would know, Cynthia Wong, Tim Cook and Ed Mariano.
Wow, some big names there.
And there's some big names that are coming. In addition to that, we have a sponsored speaker in Andy Klein, who is no stranger to these shores and is known by many and is an outstanding speaker as well. We've managed to get a few other international speakers as well. We've got, of particular note, Guillermo Martinez, who's probably one of Europe's experts in pulmonary hypertension in anaesthesia.
There's a lot emerging about pulmonary hypertension, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things you don't realise how. It's the devil you don't know. You don't realise how scary some of the things can be related to pulmonary hypertension. So he's running a masterclass along with Lachlan Miles. We've got a strong local contingent in Alicia Dennis, Lachlan Miles and Louise Ellard. And yeah, I think the scientific program is outstanding.
And just for people who don't know, we know Cynthia Wong, she's a leading obstetric anaesthetist from the US. And we know Tim Cook's name, he's behind the NAPS.
Yeah.
The big audit projects out of the UK. I know Ed Mariano because we crossed paths, but he was president of the Californian Society of Anesthesiologists and he's big in the world of regional anaesthesia. I know that most NSCs, they tend to try something a little bit different. So is there anything that's a little bit different about this NSC scientific programs?
I think the main feature of the scientific program is the diverse nature of talks. I mean, there are a lot of talks there that should cater for all interests. And the topics that are discussed are very pragmatic. They're for the anaesthetist that works a lot within the hospital system. And they would like, in a short space of time, to learn from the experts, what do they do? And I think there are some conferences you can go to around the world where, yes, the presenters deliver fantastic talks. However, a lot of them are esoteric. And then you think, well, how is that relevant to my own practice?
Exactly.
Whereas I think the relevance of all of these talks are quite obvious to everyone. And I think hopefully people will take something back to their home hospitals and implement some of these things. The other thing that's a little bit different is we're going to have a debate on the last day of the scientific program. That's the final event to close the NSC. And it's a debate that is going to be lighthearted. It may get personal amongst the people doing the debate. It's going to be chaired by the incoming ASA president in Dr Vida Viliunas.
Okay, nice. Bit of an introduction for her, yeah?
Yeah, and the topic is going to be, aren't we all perioperative physicians? ?
Ooh, okay.
So it is incredibly topical.
Yes, very.
And I think we're all aware that there are several schools of thought regarding this topic. And in a fun yet respectful manner, we want to sort of tease out some of those issues and generate discussion.
Great. And so who have we got on the various sides of the debate?
We've got people like Tim Cook, Andy Klein, we've got some locals. So it will be hopefully a little bit boisterous. That's the plan.
A few opinions, maybe a little bit of fact, but a lot of fun. Is that what I'm taking away from it?
You don't want fact to get in the way of a good story, do you? So,
perfect.
So I think that's probably going to be one of the highlights of the program for sure.
Moving on to the social program, I know one thing that I'm really looking forward to is the Gala Dinner, which is at Parliament House.
Yes.
What are some of the other highlights, or maybe just tell me more about what we're expecting that night?
So, well, the first night we're going to be the President's Welcome, and that's a place called Verity Lane, which some of you may or may not know. It's a large area where they've got various different food stands, and it lends itself well to just everyone mingling, trying different cuisines, wines, etc.
Great.
And having a great social event. The Gala Dinner is going to be on a Friday this time, which is a little bit different to previous NSCs, and that is in New Parliament House in the Grand Ballroom, which is a beautiful place. And not many people get to enjoy the vastness of that ballroom, particularly in a dinner setting.
Wow, I can't wait. I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, it is a spectacular event. And that's actually where the previous Gala Dinner was held in 2013 as well.
Ah, okay.
And everyone had rave reviews back then, and it certainly is a very special place. The family night, it's a little bit fun. We've got this place where families, kids and adults, can do some bouldering.
Oh, as in rock climbing bouldering?
Yeah, exactly.
Fun.
And right adjacent to that is a place called Brodberger and the Capital Brewery. So you can have beers, burgers and bouldering.
Nice.
And it is a very relaxed environment back there, and I think the kids will really enjoy it. So they're the main social events.
And for people who don't really know Canberra, what's the attraction? Why have you been angling so much for so long to get the NSC back to Canberra?
So, look, I think Canberra really is a beautiful, beautiful city. I think the time of year for the NSC is perfect in October. It coincides with Floriade, which is the famous open-air flower festival that graces Lake Burley Griffin. The weather is starting to pick up in terms of it's getting a bit warmer. It's not grey and gloomy usually. Having said that, I've probably just jinxed ourselves. There are a lot of hot air balloons and things in the sky. And it really has the appeal of a well-planned, well-developed, beautiful, large city that a lot of people have left off their radar and have never really visited. There are a lot of museums to visit that are free of charge, and it's incredibly educational. And it is very picturesque. It is the bush capital, so lots of places to walk and do other outdoor things as well.
That's gorgeous. I recall, and I think it might be more in the autumn time, but also in spring, because Canberra's not at sea level. It's at 700-800 metres above sea level.
Yeah.
So you get these big sort of bright blue skies, very crisp cold mornings, but these beautiful blue skies, and you do feel like the horizon looks different. I feel like it's because you're at a different altitude. That's one of the things I really love. Our family loves the Questacon, the Science Museum in Canberra. That's a good one for the young kids. But I also remember as a young teenager just walking around Yarralumla and just looking at all the embassies. You know, that's a very unique experience in Canberra.
It is a unique experience, and they're all clustered together, so you can just make a nice walk out of it in an afternoon and go for a wander around the embassies and have a look at all the flags. And the architecture of each of the embassies is quite unique as well. They often reflect the nations that they're from, and it's interesting, particularly for older kids to look at.
Yeah, agreed. What other things do you or your family like to do in and around Canberra?
Well, bike riding is a big one. We've got Lake Burley Griffin. We've got 3 large basins of bike riding around the lake. We're a skiing family, so we go skiing pretty much whenever we can. And it's only 2.5 hours away from Perisher or Thredbo. And the coast is quite close as well. We're not so much of a beach family, but I know a lot of my friends are. They all head out to the south coast reasonably frequently. So, I mean, there are a lot of attractions that are not too far away.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait for that. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell us about the NSC, about Canberra?
Well, look, as I just mentioned earlier, Canberra is a wonderful place that not many people have explored. It is a fantastic city in which to hold an NSC because everything can be clustered all together. You don't have to travel too much. The weather, touch wood, will be wonderful. It historically has been during that time of year. The conference program looks outstanding. It looks like a very relevant program for working anaesthetists where they can hopefully take something back to their own hospitals in terms of something they've learned. It gives the ability for people to explore in and around Canberra amongst the museums, Parliament House, Old Parliament House, and I think we should have a fantastic NSC given all of these things. So I look forward to seeing as many people as possible there. See you there.
Yeah, I look forward to coming. As I said, I'm really looking forward to the Gala Dinner. And as you say, the content, I always find the NSC really delivers a lot of really useful, pragmatic content. So I love that is the focus of the NSC this year as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. So thank you so much for your time this morning.
No, thank you, Susie. All the best, and I'll see you soon.
I'll see you in Canberra very soon. Well, I hope you enjoyed finding out a little bit more about Girish and a lot more about Canberra as well as the NSC. I love the theme for this year's NSC, come together, and I can't imagine a better place to do that than Canberra. One thing that really appeals to me about Canberra is the wide open spaces, the proximity to bushland, but in the time that I've left, it's also become a really metropolitan place. Lots of great restaurants to explore as well as some fun places in and around Canberra. So I hope I'll see you there. I've already registered. I've definitely registered for the Gala Dinner. As I said in this podcast, I am so looking forward to being inside that building. I mean, what an iconic venue. So if you want to know more about the NSC, then head over to asansc.com.au. That stands for Australian Society of Anaesthetists National Scientific Congress, so asansc.com.au. The dates, which we didn't mention before, are from the 2nd to the 5th of October. So that's Thursday the 2nd through to Sunday the 5th of October if you're trying to plan your flights and work schedules and all that sort of stuff. for a few of the states, if not all, I'm not sure exactly, it does also fall within the school holidays, so that might be something to think about. But I love bringing my family up to Canberra. I loved growing up there as a kid. There was plenty of stuff for me to do, and I hope you and your family find the same. All right, until I see you in Canberra, I hope you stay safe and well out there, and thank you once again for listening.
This has been Australian Anaesthesia, produced by the Australian Society of Anaesthetists, with many thanks to host and editor Dr Susie New, with music by Soda Lime Music, sound and engineering by Bearview, and graphics by the ASA Communications team. For more content, please visit www.asa.org.au.